Hey, what's going on, family? This is Mental Stimulant, the Divine Empress, coming through with just something to pique your mind, to make you think and consider some things. I have been doing a lot of traveling lately, and it's not really lately for them, maybe the last couple of years anyway. But what I have come to realize is it was a problem that me and my sibling we discussed some years ago on the state of the environment in which we lived. We couldn't understand why, I guess you could say, that we had such a hard time in a certain area. It was almost like a rain cloud was over that area when it came to our lives and the quality of life. And I've come to realize that a lot of people, well-to-do, that have purposes in life, certain geographical areas are not conducive to you following your path. And I'm going to elaborate on that. When you look at these inner cities, the city area, most city areas are heavily populated. They're constantly always rebuilding. Most of the areas are impoverished. And it's basically like people are stacked upon people because the cost of living is cheaper in these certain areas than everywhere else. But also consider the things that go along with that when your life, your well-being, the quality of it is concerned. You look at certain areas, they would call it the projects, the hoods, etc. Even some of the blue-collar areas, they get the worst food, heavily tainted food, modified. There's constant issues with running water. When I say issues with running water, a lot of the tap water is heavily infused with lead, chemicals. I've seen news reports where there has been pharmaceuticals found in tap water. A lot of the structures are so old. Cheap materials are used because they really don't care about the living situation of the people that lives there in those dwellings. They care about it being cost effective for them. A lot of these cities are heavily polluted. The air quality sucks. And with all these things combined, you gotta wonder, where would demonic presence be? Of course, demonic presence is all over the world. But in these areas where people are struggling, people are unhappy, most of these areas have the crabs in a barrel syndrome, where it's, I'm going to get you before you get me, or I'll step on whomever to get ahead. That's a demonic presence. And what I've come to find is lots of these areas are heavily demonically influenced. They're overrun with greed, gluttony, lust, temptation, violence. You ever realize when you move around how your temperament is in certain areas? And we're talking about well-to-do, typically happy people, because I've noticed it. I've had to travel to my hometown a couple of times, and it seems like as soon as I cross state lines, my mood and attitude instantly changes. The first couple of times that that's happened, I didn't really pay attention to it. And as soon as I leave those areas, I'm uplifted. My energy is lighter. It's more lively. So I want to just, spark thought. Think about it. A lot of us stay angry a lot of times, and most times, sometimes we even have to ask ourselves, like, why am I mad? Most times, no, that's not your energy. That's the energy in where you are. Of course, it could be other spiritual things, spiritual attacks, projections upon you, but also it's the environment. If everything is of decay and destruction, there's nothing of life there, nothing happy, nothing of love there. You go to most places sometimes and you can't even say hello to people. People will look at you like you got egg on your face. Like, why are you talking to me? I don't know you. People are not polite in a lot of areas, and it's because these areas are heavily influenced by demonic presence. So if you ever felt like, a lot of us don't really get out of where we grew up, and it gets to a point to where sometimes you feel suffocated, like you just cannot deal another day. You know why that is? Because you don't belong there. You belong somewhere where there's fresh trees, fresh food, the air is much cleaner. Sometimes we got to make those decisions and take those leaps of faith to move ourselves out of these environments, because these environments do heavily hold you back. That was just a little bit that I have come to realize, because I've been a lot of country places. I stay in a lot of country places these days, and I realize how free I am, how happy I am. My attitude is always the same, pleasant and light. It's when I get to these cities that I'm annoyed. I don't have any patience for people. Isn't that strange? Hey, I just wanted to put this on your mind. Think about it. I love you so much. Peace.